Friends, this is our second hand-holding video for implementation of labor codes. In the first video, as we discussed that labor codes are 4 in number and they are the law of India as on date already notified in the official gazette. Only the implementation date would be notified and they would be implemented. As you know very well that the labor is a concurrent list subject as per the Constitution of India, list 3 of the 7th schedule, and therefore the center and state government would both be framing laws. In the last video, we discussed that the CTC or the cost of HR in the hands of the employers would go up, and therefore the costing and the provisioning for the salaries and wage cost needs to be relooked at, and if they are to be absorbed, they need to be budgeted for financial year 21-22, or if they are required to be passed on to the employees who would be ultimate beneficiaries in the long run, sufficient training and change of contracts needs to be done. In this video, we would discuss the other major changes which would be there and which would be required to be implemented on a yesterday basis. I am using the word yesterday basis because it would be a process to look into each and every fine print of the labor code and implement it in the various environments in which different companies and different industries work in. So, another important financial impact of the implementation of labor codes for employers would be the provisioning of gratuity and leave encashment. Currently, as you know, the gratuity is provided on, or leave encashment is provided on the basis of 15 days of the last drawn salary. This would change as the definition of wages have changed, and therefore the gratuity provisioning or the leave encashment provisioning would, I would say, increase going forward, and therefore it needs to be relooked at. The Equal Compensation Remuneration Act is currently also applicable on the workers. It would now be applicable on all categories of employees, including the part-time employees, and therefore whatever employee who is in full-time employment is paid, the same rate of payment needs to be done to a part-time employee also proportionately. Employees whose scope of work is the same, they cannot be discriminated against and be paid differently. Many a times in the current law also we have seen the labor commissioners issue notices for Equal Remuneration Act, and currently with the social media and the media becoming so active, it is important for the companies to take care of this aspect. Friends, the Provident Fund limit might get changed from 15,000. The Payment of Bonus Act limit would get changed from the present 21,000 rupees. Gratuity, many a times it is alleged by the employees or disgruntled employees, I would say that I was retrenched only because I was about to complete 5 years and gratuity was required to be paid to me by the employer. The courts even currently in the case of Surya Roshni and other judgments have held that proportionate gratuity needs to be paid. The same has been envisaged by the labor codes also, that even if they have not completed their full term as per the labor codes, even then the proportionate gratuity and other payments need to be done to the employees, and therefore the provisioning as far as labor cost is concerned, that needs to be taken care of at least with a reasonable degree of probability. Social Securities Act would go through a tremendous change. most important are the gig workers, the employers who are employing gig workers. So who are gig workers? Gig workers, for example, are the delivery boys employed by Zomato, the boys employed by the Amazon, Uber, Ola, etc., etc., on a part-time or a contractual basis. The social security schemes would be applicable for these gig workers also. 1 to 2% of the total turnover of the companies employing gig workers would be required to be provided for the salaries and wages of these gig workers, right? So the new model businesses like Zomato, etc., they need to look at employment of gig workers and the provisioning as far as the social security of these gig workers are concerned. A national securities board would be constituted, which would come up with this new social security scheme time and again. It is not that one social security scheme which is notified now that would go on forever. This would be a new development and a welcome development also. As far as the occupational safety, health and working conditions code is concerned, there are various changes. We would discuss a few major ones in this video, and we would keep on discussing and hand holding the companies in our ongoing videos. So as far as occupational safety, health and working conditions, it's a long name, OSHW or OSH, we will say in short form. So OSH code requires that or provides that those migrant workers who are getting less than 18,000 rupees per month and who have migrated from other states, they would get the benefit of PDS, insurance, etc. The working hours of employees would be restricted to 8 hours. So the attendance registers and all, the way they have to be structured, that needs to be looked into, and the overtime payment would be 2 times than the normal rate of payment for employees. So again, the cost of human resources, that needs to be looked at. Women workers can now be employed in all industries. However, adequate safety measures need to be taken for the women workers. So possibly maybe a committee for safety and precautions for employment of women workers may be needed in large companies which are employing women workers. So friends, there are many other changes as far as the labor codes are concerned, and that is why we in Tax Connect, we feel and we have already started implementing these labor codes, so that the day which is where it is notified, it may be 1st of July 2021 or it may be an earlier or a later date, the companies, the organizations should be absolutely ready for seamless implementation, so that the business goes on seamlessly. So we have divided our implementation module into 5 parts consisting of 2 phases, right? Phase 1 would consist of 4 stages. The first stage would be to do an impact analysis, right? It is very important what we do an impact analysis. We see the present HR cost and the HR cost vis-a-vis the implementation of labor codes, and then we do a comparative analysis and we say by implementation of labor codes, this would be the impact. Thereafter, in the phase 2, after doing the impact analysis and an initial training, we frame the broad guidelines. So what is done in these second stage of phase 1 is that we say, okay, gentlemen, this would be your total impact as far as HR cost is concerned. Now, how do you want to absorb it, or you want to pass it on some part you want to absorb it, some part you want to pass it on. So a broad guideline is formed in the second phase, and of course various small trainings for the employees are also concerned. most important is change management, right? And for change management, it is important that small trainings of the head of the departments and drill down to the lower categories of grades of the employees, that is done in a phased manner. So this is what we do in phase 2 of stage 1. In phase 3, you see most of the organization today, they follow some or the other ERP for HR compliances, for attendance, etc. However, HR ERP vendors, they do not know labor codes. They are not legal people. Therefore, they need to be handheld. And last, phase 4 of stage 1, it is the going live phase. We structure the contract, issue the new contract and go live. In stage 2, it is the hand holding for the first 3 compliance cycle. So first return, second return, third return under the labor codes, that would be handheld by our organization and we will handhold. So this would be ensuring that these labor codes are inbuilt and they are implemented effectively so as to ensure that the organization goes on functioning seamlessly after the implementation of labor codes. Very recently, we have implemented GST in various organizations, and we have seen that those companies who have implemented GST, they have gained and their cost actually has gone down by 3 to 4%. Right? So it is very important that these labor codes are also implemented effectively so as to seamlessly run the business at the lowest cost, which is very important for the current businesses in the current scenario. Thank you very much.